I'll talk about it with you later privately.
Well, it's a good thing you don't have to wait because we're idiots.
We're idiots.
What, you didn't stop the recording?
No, I did. Just
okay.
Oh,
Sehkie here with her mind, her brain is so big it's past where ours is going right now. In terms
you know
of...
that meme where eventually the brain is just outside of the skull hitting random things in space? That.
Yeah, no, that's I think Sehkie, you're thinking a few steps ahead of where we're at right now.
Yeah.
We're still lost trying to find the location.
Yep.
Well, welcome back, everybody. It's been a few days if we get things uploaded on time this week.
This will have been 3 months after that fiasco. Shut your trap. 3 months.
Well, now we've minded them.
I'm NikNak. With me is the Great Lord Vorn. Not with me is Realm Shifter, and then there's Sehkie.
I'm not with you. I'm with
only,
you. I'm
the
one.
Fabulous
Editor.
Oh, way to bring me down.
Just stop it, Sehkie.
I'd like to see you reach through the computer and do it to me yourself.
I can do that. I shift realms. God damn it.
Then do it.
Sehkie was not expecting to be slapped there.
Oh, fucking conspiracy.
Well, this week
This is not the kind of world building I'm here for.
We're secretly world building for this channel. Is what's going on here right now.
Yes.
We're gonna be one of those animes that's beigey.
Today we're going to be discussing the setting and the story, which I think interested it quite a bit more than the show, the characters or the production value did.
I want to go first a little bit here. I'm super into magic and kind of fantasy and that kind of thing. So quite literally, anything to do with magic catches my attention, at least a little bit, you know? So I mean,
unless there's historical figures standing as a wall in front of the magic system.
The magic system is only there to support the historical figures, so fuck the magic.
I'll argue with that more when I can show you more of the magic.
Yeah. Anyways, but I thought it was really interesting. I mean, I definitely would like to finish the series and watch the prequel and that kind of thing if that's going to help. But at the very least, it's an intriguing premise.
So, at least for me, the setting in the world, in that, it was enough to get me to go and rewatch a series in chronological order. That alone did it. In fact, this carried the show for me. Is this setting, the way the setting works? I brought up in the last section how much I like the fight scenes. It wasn't because of the animation of the fight scenes like it normally is for me. In this case, it was because the way the setting works. There's kind of you never feel like people are pulling powers out of their ass. What that one person does is what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And there's a fight in the second arc of the show. I don't want to go into too big of a detail, but part of the fight is figuring out what this guy is doing. And I'm sitting there thinking about what happened so far in that fight. And I basically figured out what was going on at the same time the main character did. And then you see the fight play out with that. It was an awesome moment. Yeah. And I do like the overall world where it's you've got your you have your traditional understanding of magic as we don't fucking know. And then you have your MCU style magic where it's just science that we haven't figured out yet. And they're both kind of competing branches. I like that about the show, actually, where it's got both of them. Not something you usually see. It's like having a hard and a soft magic system at once.
Yeah, for once I like something with a high school plot that you put in here.
The high school is literally part of 20 seconds collectively in that episode set.
I make the joke on this channel that Vorn puts in a lot of high school anime, and it's because he likes high school.
It's also because 90% of anime takes place in high school.
Well, yeah, 90% takes place in high school. And also when I say high school anime, sometimes I literally just mean that there's a high school that these students are in uniform, and presumably they're going to a high school even if we only see it for 5 seconds, right? And I know that's not really what a high school anime is, but high school.
Keep in mind that Sehkie's taste in modern anime tends to be isekai trash.
Oh my god, you people have done this to me.
It's our fault.
Yeah.
You've
I
done
admit
this
that.
to me.
That's for another day, I think. But yeah, no, I think the story itself is kind of split into 3 arcs. I think does that seem like correct?
Yeah, but we didn't finish one of them.
Yeah, you have your index arc. You have your you have your
The other dude.
was it the Deep Blood arc or something like
Yeah,
that?
that's it. Deep Blood.
And then you have your the Misaka arc or the Sisters arc if you're a franchise follower.
Mm-hmm.
Say,
By the way, so this is just a quick question. This is a franchise thing, right? So there's more than just the 2 series?
yes.
Oh, yeah,
There's
definitely.
3 series total from what I understand.
Yeah.
With multiple seasons on 2 of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
let's see. Index has 3.
Index has 3. Railgun has...
3.
Railgun has 3, and Accelerator just came out.
1.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
But yeah, of the arcs, I thought. So this is weird. The last arc, the one that we cut off a little bit halfway through, and this isn't just because we cut it off halfway through, because I did end up watching the remaining episodes as well. I think it's the weakest arc amongst the 3 that we watched.
Yeah, Deep Blood was my favorite of the arcs.
Yeah, but I will say, as far as the franchise goes, that last arc is my favorite arc in the franchise, because that's just how this franchise works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
for this 12 episodes,
yeah.
you agree with me? Deep Blood?
Deep Blood was definitely the best one. I didn't think the Index arc was bad, but Index as a character is just... We'll get to her later.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's a preview of my feelings. Realm, you were saying?
Yes, I was saying I agree with you guys. Deep Blood is like the best arc of what I've seen, because while I might have continued, I didn't, and so that's what I can attest to. I definitely liked that arc the most because it felt like it had the most development, because we already had a good majority of the characters finally established in that moment to us. So we felt like it actually care to some extent about the arc in some ways.
And as much as I don't like Index, it still felt like a natural continuation of her story as opposed to the 3rd arc. So it didn't feel like filler at all, as opposed to that 3rd arc, which in many ways felt like filler. The 1st arc, I just think was... Okay, I don't want to trash the 1st arc too much. I actually did there's a moment in the story where the main character figures out, wait a second, she has 1 year and 15% of her memory to use. That math does not line up. What the fuck? I loved that moment. That moment was awesome. But overall, the arc felt very...
Big doggo.
Big doggo.
It felt very big doggo. No, it felt very... I kind of want to say disjointed. Yeah, awkward editor cut there. Okay, well, does anyone remember what we were talking about before?
Yeah, you had just finished a statement, and then I told you to be quiet.
Oh, yeah, I was saying, I brought up that I didn't necessarily want to trash the 1st arc too much, because it wasn't a bad arc. It's just the character that arc was surrounding, who had a heavy focus in that arc, was a pretty bad character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I will be interested to see where the plot and setting develop from here, in the story, because I was impressed by them in this first 12 episodes, but it wasn't enough to make me say oh, I like this show. It was enough to get me from God, that bitch is fucking annoying to this is tolerable. That's the level it moved for me.
Who the little girl that's holding all the grimoires?
Yeah,
fucking Index.
Okay, Index herself.
I did find the setting to me felt a lot like a more optimistic Fate. That's why I liked it, I think. I guess, but I think that sounds like all of our thoughts here on the setting and on the overall world and story. Does anyone have any other thoughts on it before we want to continue on the characters?
I suppose I'll just add into it. I kind of like. I think I was going to mention it earlier in the spoiler feed, but because that was actually not spoiler free, but the production value, but it wasn't mentioned because that wasn't where we were at yet. But
Mhm.
I like the like take on how it has the different like magic system, or like how it's like espers. They're very specific. Like they have a different type of powers, and those powers are very good. But it's very clear that there's also another system, and it's kind of interesting how those like espers can't use the magic that the non-espers use, and espers are just like regular people that can't use the railgun
Actually,
esper
railgun
magic.
that is an esper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
they
like
can't.
D&D classes,
Yeah, basically.
like warlock, wizard,
Yeah.
sorcerer, and
Yeah.
ooh,
Don't
And
cross
it's
the
like
warlocks
and it's
and
kind
the
of like a
wizards.
weird and it's kind of like a weird
Yeah.
cool mix of like magic and technology that I
Yeah.
have
okay.
that I haven't really seen outside of something like what NikNak mentioned in the MCU.
So, this okay. Not in like a disparaging way, but like you mentioned, it's like a cool mix of like magic and kind of tech and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's what I wish Persona had the finesse of. Like
Okay.
I wish Persona's system in the single movie that we watched, taking in mind that I've only seen the one single movie, I wish it was as
Fleshed out.
yeah, and like as functional.
Understandable.
Yeah.
I won't get into that because that's not what we're
Yeah.
reviewing
Not the point
here.
of this episode.
Not the point, but I
Let's
think
not
I
do
would
that.
absolutely fucking like explain it away, but
yeah,
no.
but
no,
I
that's
think
not what this episode is.
in context that makes sense. you know?
Yeah.
Yes, in context, this makes
Yeah.
sense.
Oh, I would actually like to add the start of the series. Actually, not start, but like end of the first arc. We actually see the MC lose his memories, and this actually is a very nice thing.
I want to get into
saw.
that with a little more of the characters, I think, though, because
Oh,
that plays
yeah.
into the characters a little bit more.
But it does actually show a lot more of the background because
Mhm.
he's new to this world, and we get a lot of explanations. So yay!
I mean, with that being said, we'll be back to tell you about the people we hated and the people we didn't.
Try harder.
Slap.